Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to get your day off to a good start. And I'm smiling because it is thundering and lightning like crazy here. We haven't had that in, 9 months. It's been a long time since there's been a thunderstorm. So, get a little rain here and there, very little. And today all hell's breaking loose, which is kind of fun. So, I think you're going to find the card for today kind of fun also. So, good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. Glad you're here. Good morning. It looks like someone else has popped on. 2, 3. All right, we're heading for the crowd showing up. This is good. Good morning, CJ. Welcome. Glad you are here. Good morning, Abigail. Thank you for the sunrise. Very pretty. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. And Peggy. Everybody's rolling in. This is good. This is good. And thank you for the sunshine, because we're not going to see any of that today, I don't think. So, very loud thunder. Very loud thunder. So, I did my usual process this morning to pick out a card deck, and was not overly surprised when the same deck popped up. So, Notes from the Universe on Abundance by Mike Dooley, which is what we had yesterday. And our card for yesterday, good morning, Lucy, welcome. He doesn't really put titles on the cards, so I kind of title them based on what I think the gist of the card is. So yesterday I entitled the card, What If It Was This Easy? And today I changed the title to I Said Yes. But guess what? Good morning, Cindy. It's the same card. It's the same card as yesterday. It's a 60 card deck. We picked the same card. Well, the same card picked us. Let's put it that way. So let's see what kind of a riff we can do on. Good morning, Chrissy. Glad you are here. What kind of a riff we can do on this today? What strikes me differently about this today? And one of the reasons that I think something will strike me differently about it today is yesterday there's a young woman in town that she and I exchanged services. We barter. And it was my turn to receive. And she does many things. She does Reiki, she does massage, she does all kinds of stuff. But one of the things that she does that she's really good at, and I'm always amazed at what turns up, is she does card readings. So we did a card reading, and the themes that my question was, the focus, good morning, Sarah, glad you're here. The focus for the whole card reading was, what am I meant to be doing in addition to what I'm already doing with the Intentional Community Project? How do I move this thing forward? Is there something I need to see that I'm not seeing? Good morning, Peg. Glad you are here. So I was just wanting some guidance in terms of how to proceed. You know, when you're doing big projects, oftentimes you hit these lulls where nothing's really moving forward, or so it seems. And you kind of throw your hands up and go, okay, now what? What do I do next? Do I just bide some time and wait for things to unfold? Do I push a little at something to make something happen? What do I do here? So that was the bulk of my reading, was getting guidance on that. So I think that's going to color today's card, which was yesterday's card. But again, yesterday I was more focused with this. I felt the pull. Good morning, Brenda. Glad you are here. Happy greetings from Canada. Glad you're here. I was very focused yesterday on the unfolding of things. And today I think I'm more focused on the saying yes part. The saying yes part. So I'm going to read the card. Let's take a couple of nice deep breaths though. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. And I want you to think about, what have you recently said yes to? And what have you said no to? What have you indirectly said no to by not saying yes? Okay, so let's see what you get. I said yes when you first thought of it. Now, when you first asked. And hallelujah, so be it, coming right up when you first gave thanks in advance. Believing in you, the universe. So that I said yes part is what jumped at me. what have you said yes to? What have you that enthusiastically said yes to? Or has it been kind of sliding in sideways with, well, I guess I could? What have you really claimed as yours by saying yes? A great big hairy old yes. All right. Good morning, Diane. Glad you are here. If we look, I think if we're honest with ourselves, and if we look at the decisions we've made in the past month, most of those have been kind of that sliding in sideways. Yeah, I guess I could kind of maybe sort of do that. Instead of our heartfelt yes. I'm in, I'm all in, let's go. Whether it's something simple like picking something off the shelf at the grocery store, yes to that. Yes, yes, yes to that. Or something bigger, like me taking on this intentional community project. And interestingly, the reason I was almost a bit late today was there's a woman out in California who has created a model that information can be plugged into to help one figure out how inexpensively one can offer, good morning, Julia, glad you're here, offer a home. And so today she and I and several other people are going to have a Zoom call to talk about the ability to build homes in an affordable way, both separate houses, good morning, Bobby, glad you're here, and a condo style kind of a thing where people have ownership, but it might be in sort of a co-op arrangement. So you buy in, you're building equity. When you leave, you get some of the profit, but some of the profit rolls back into the co-op in order to subsidize the next person coming in. Good morning, Janine. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. So saying yes, saying a true yes. One of the things that came out of that card reading for me yesterday was that when I have hesitation, I kind of do the 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing. On the surface, my activities look like I'm 100% in. I'm doing the work, right? But energetically, there's a little part of me being held in reserve, like there was the fear that this whole thing would be built, because I've heard repeatedly from people in intentional communities, from co-housing circumstances, from new builds, etc., that the founders, the ones who started that movement, who've gotten a particular living situation going, oftentimes get priced out of the market. They can't afford to live there, which I think is utterly amazing. So needing to counter that in my head, needing to not allow fear, not allow brainstem functioning to run the show with regard to that. No, I need to come at this thing from the perspective that however it turns out is how it's meant to turn out, and exercise my free will in terms of keeping things as affordable as possible. I had one woman who came up to me and said, once I sell my house, I think I can afford to spend X dollars on a new place. Is your place going to come in at that level or under? And I couldn't answer her yet because we don't have that kind of numbers figured out yet. But know that that's my goal. I'm saying yes to this is going to be affordable. And there's one other guru in the co-housing movement who often says there's no such thing as affordable co-housing anymore. And I'm like, I'm gonna test that theory. I'm gonna see what we can do to make it affordable as possible. So, and to have different levels available to people. But again, this is a big project, and needing to go whole hog with my yes and be less concerned about outcome, be less self-protective. So something I said to this young woman who did the reading for me yesterday was, when you've been victimized in the past, oftentimes you have a very self-protective veneer that coats everything about you. So you're constantly looking for, is there harm in my way? Is something going to go south here? How can I prepare for every possible outcome to make sure I'm going to be okay. The downside of doing that, there's lots of downsides. One of them is it wastes a hell of a lot of energy because you're planning for all these circumstances that are never going to happen, right? It also puts you in a very defensive posture instead of being that optimist that anticipates things working out. You are that pessimist who anticipates difficulties. And what do we, when we focus on something, what happens? We bring it to us. So we unwittingly create our own difficulties by expecting them. We're looking for the difficulties. Let's say it's all out there, right? If we have the shit color glasses on to look for the difficulties, all we're going to see is difficulties. Remember that Oprah thing, the year she asked for strength from God, she had one soul-sucking opportunity after another. Stop looking for trouble. Much easier said than done. I know this. I'm still that reactive person that when there's something in my environment that screams, danger, danger, Will Smith, I react. But now I also then go, hey, wait a minute. I feel it. Okay, back up. What's pushing the button? Where am I getting triggered with this? So that I can go, no, I'm going to operate in faith and trust. I'm going to trust that this is being divinely led. I'm listening. I'm paying attention. I'm hearing the guidance. This is being divinely led. Things wouldn't keep unfolding in this way if it weren't meant to be the case. This card showing up twice. Yeah, don't pray for patience. You'll get every opportunity to exercise patience. You betcha, you betcha. Totally on. So, what have you only half-assed said yes to? What would it be good for you and for others for you to wholeheartedly say yes to? Can you take that foot that's the foot out and bring it in? Can you be both feet in? Can you be ready to do this thing? Can you frame up outcomes as however this goes, it's going to go? I'm more interested in the process. There's a reason why I'm involved in this process. It's less about the outcome. We've all been trained to pay attention to outcomes. It's less about the outcome and it's more about the process. Okay? So, are there some things in your life that are like that? Where you're half in and half out? Maybe make a decision. Either you're in or you're out. Give it your all. Give it your best. If it doesn't work out exactly the way you think it should, it probably is working out exactly as it's supposed to. And there's things for you to learn from that. So, end result, if I go through several years of pouring my heart and soul into this project and building affordable housing for people and bringing in these wonderful businesses that want to work together in a synchronistic way to allow for a living wage for people who are going to be living in this community, and there isn't a place for me, so be it. Then I'm meant to move on to something else. Protective veneer, interesting. Ah, yes. Yes. And who would we be without that veneer? If we crack that veneer and allow our real selves to be present, and that doesn't mean you throw your heart at every charlatan there is. You still have discernment, right? But there are those points in time. I was doing a session with someone yesterday where she cracked her veneer and allowed her grief to flow. Magical, needed to happen, needed another round of healing from the losses that she's experienced. Her bravery in cracking that veneer is opening the door for more healing. Okay? So, the universe is there. It's ready. It's waiting with all manner of people, places, and things to move you in the direction you want to go. And there are no mistakes. Remember that. You cannot screw it up. If you go down a path that you decide at some point, this isn't where I want to be, know that there was something you were meant to learn for that little chunk of the path before you head in a different direction. Another interesting concept that the young woman who did the reading for me was talking about was imagining our lives at times like a bow. And when we feel like we're going backward, it's actually drawing us back to shoot us much further forward. I've talked about that as sometimes we feel like we're going backward, but we need to go backward to move over, to be able to move further forward. So that's kind of how I framed it up. But she framed it up as being like a bow. When it's being drawn back and you feel like you're being pulled back into old junk, it's the opportunity to then fly right past it. Fly right past it. So when that happens, when you feel like, man, I'm going backward, not forward, breathe. Breathe. Planets go into retrograde. It's part of the process. Breathe. Lots of breathing. Let's just breathe right now. A couple of nice deep breaths. One more, and then I'm going to have you do something. Now I want you to scan your body from head to toe and pay attention to any areas that feel a little tight, a little uncomfortable, a little overfilled, however you want to frame it. Pick an area that you're noticing, all right? And rather than getting upset about it, breathe into it. Breathe into that particular area. So let's say someone says, I notice my hands are really tight. Breathe into your hands. Breathe into your hands. If your throat feels tight, breathe into your throat. And I want you to be that curious observer who then asks that body part, what do you want me to know? What do you want me to hear? What's important for me to learn from you? You're talking to your body part. Yes, I'm having you talk to your body part. Just do it. What do you get? Is what you get first what you're willing to hear? Or do you try to brush past that and go on to something else? Sanitize it, as it were. Stick with it. What first came to you that body part wants you to know? And now, given that information, what do you need to do with it? Do you need to sit with it for a while? Do you need to journal it? Do you need to make a change to something you're doing? You can do this often. Check in with your body. Ooh, there's the lightning. So, on the lightning note, energizing this, the universe is talking to you here. I said yes when you first thought of it. Now, when you first asked. And hallelujah, so be it, coming right up when you first gave thanks in advance. So right now, I want you to give thanks for whatever it is that you thought about, asked about, and now are ready to move forward with. Believing in you, the universe. And as always, remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Let's lock arms and let's walk forward into these various things that each of us is meant to be doing right now, or who we're meant to be becoming right now. Whatever it is. There's 16, and with me 17. Let's lock arms and step forward in faith. Have an awesome Tuesday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.